Hi everyone. For our next session, we've got our executive panel on the state of the technology expense management market. With us today are speakers from several of our sponsors. So we've got Jim Lay, our Vice President of Product from MobiCord, Philippe Ducas, General Manager from Upland Software, Jennifer Warren, Vice President of Sales from Vision Wireless, as well as Ginger Huddle, Vice President of Sales from Vision Wireless. And by the way, the moderator of the panel, this guy. So, stay tuned and please enjoy our panel. Remember, we've got our chat room. Please press pound, pound, pound to show your applause, as well as to ask any questions that might come up. Please welcome our panel.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for coming to our international panel on the state of technology expense management. I am here today with our sponsors from MobiCord, Upland Software, and Vision Wireless. Thank you so much to all of you for showing up today and for speaking on this important topic. First of all, I'd love to start with just a set of introductions. You've been seeing me throughout the event, but I'd love for you to get to know some of our executives here a little bit better. So Jim, I'll start with you. Just a quick introduction of who you are and what you do.
Hi, first of all, thank you for having me. Very happy to be here, very honored to be here. My name is Jim Lay. I'm Vice President of Product Management for MobiCord.
And Philippe.
Perfect. Well, again, same thing here. Thank you for having me here on the panel. So my name is Philippe Ducas. I've been with Upland for 11 years now, and I'm the general manager for what we call our project and financial management solutions, which includes an ITFM solution, which is ComSci, our TEM solution, which is Simple, and then our PPM solution, which is Power Steering.
Okay, terrific. And Jennifer.
Hi, thank you, Jan. Jennifer Warren here with Vision. Again, appreciate the opportunity to participate in the event and to be part of this panel. I'm Vice President of Sales at Vision. I've been with the company about 12 years, and my primary role is managing client relationships and just ensuring the services we deliver provide a positive ROI for our clients.
All right, and Ginger.
Hi, I'm Ginger Huddle. I am also Vice President of Sales at Vision Wireless. Jennifer and I are peers. Same thing, I've been with Vision for now 16 years and working with clients to help them manage their mobility best.
On the budget side, obviously any budget that had been put together at the beginning of this year doesn't make much sense at this point, right? And this is kind of an open question. I'll start with Philippe, and I'll try to I'm curious on everybody's perspective on this as well. How are you helping your customers to make that mid-year adjustment from a financial perspective?
Yes. So what happened here? I mean, this is really interesting. What happened, of course, in the last 2 quarters. But really now, what is happening from a budget standpoint is that they need to realign according to where they are spending, and now it's just allocation that is being shifted, right? That's really what that is. But how do they make that shift? That's when they need expertise to help them. Hey, help us out now, plan over the next 6 months, because we don't know how truly we're going to get affected at that level. And that's where it's really important to identify what we call the projects that will help them really figure out where they can work, reallocate that money, and from there meet that deadline. But with the digital transformation that is happening right now, I think people now understand that it's truly a continuous improvement process. So don't do it every 90 days, right? Don't do it every 45 days. Put that into the mind of your team now, that every week, let's look at the budget, at the forecast, where we stand, so that we can more rapidly realign our budget based on what we're doing. And that's what we're helping them do as well, is put that into the mindset and readjust very quickly on any change they see. Does that help?
Yeah, it does, because obviously we're all trying to figure out how to do this in a more agile way. We're all dealing with these challenges, and honestly, who knows what's happening in the future? I mean, not just for TEM, but for everything that's happening from a day-to-day basis, right?
Yes, and to your point, they're not looking at the 6 months now, they're looking at the 18 months. That's another change that is happening right now, because 6 months, again, they want to be conservative now on what they're going to do over the next 18 months. And that's what we see now as a change as well.
Yeah, I'll actually, Ginger, I was curious your perspective, how this is affecting perhaps your either monthly or quarterly reviews, and kind of how this is affecting your conversations in this regard, looking at the future.
I mean, you know, our job is really to always help reduce the cost of our customers and really looking at their overall costs and their spend. And we're always trying to make suggestions and recommendations to help them drive those costs down, to help them deal with, you know, less people and, you know, still be able to handle a large environment. And so we're always looking at, you know, today with all the changes, we're looking at the billing more frequently to make suggestions. So before bills hit, so that they don't actually incur overages or additional charges, we're making recommendations of, you know, again, helping them with their help desk is a huge cost. So if we can help them there, and I will be honest, we are busier than I have seen us be in a long time, with just new potential clients just reaching out to us, because finally, you know, they're at a point where their costs have gotten too much within mobility. And because of all the changes that have been going on with COVID, everybody's reaching out and saying, I need to find a solution to help deal with, to help save money and how to function better and streamline my processes. And that's what we do.
Great. Jim, any additional thoughts?
I guess my next thought was that I thought I was going to come on this. I thought I was going to clearly win best dressed, but that goes to Philip. So congratulations, Philip, for that. But as far as this, I would say, you know, in addition to the cost approach that everyone else is talking about, you know, what we've been, I think, how we're trying to differentiate ourselves is think about not only that cost savings, but how we can actually bring revenue to IT and how we can generate that. So what we've actually done is put together a program for bill pay where it's 100% pass through to the customer. So now our IT customers can generate revenue for their departments, for their entire company. So it's pivoting. So the great cost stuff that everyone else has been talking about, now on top of that, generating revenue and then passing it through to our customers.
Next, I'm curious, how are you reacting to this from perhaps a strategic or product perspective or service perspective? What are you trying to put into your solutions over the next, call it 6 to 12 months to help out your customers going forward? And I'll start with Jennifer. I'm curious what you're doing next.
Sure. So I would say Vision has always been very nimble and flexible. We've designed our own mobile management system, and Jan, I think, you know, we focus strictly on that space. So again, always been very nimble and flexible, but I'd say particularly over the next 6 to 12 months, we're certainly focused on any other ways, you know, just to further increase our adaptability to help our clients meet their changing needs as their environments, you know, expand, right? We've seen a vast expansion very rapidly. We may eventually see that shrink back as they begin, you know, more of a return to work. So we'll just be looking for additional ways to increase the flexibility and adapt rapidly. Couple specific roadmap items for us over the next 6 to 12 months are going to be increased global expansion. And I think either Jim or Philippe touched on this, just additional API integrations. We have a lot of integrations in our system today. We integrate with the client's HR, with their AP finance. We integrate with MDM systems and ITSM systems, and we're pretty agnostic when it comes. But just looking at, you know, even additional integrations with the client business systems, because the more we can automate, the more efficiency we can deliver for the client, for ourselves as well. And all that translates into, cost savings, FTE savings, process streamlining for the client. So those are kind of our big roadmap items, more related to what's going on with the COVID right now.
Sure. And I was just wondering, on the mobility side, how are you thinking about kind of this, the work to home versus office conversion, and perhaps the expansion of end user computing and accessories and other things that are showing up? Do they just fit into your current product and service suite, or is there anything in addition that you're thinking of there?
No, that fits into our current service suite. So again, we've been helping all of our clients mobilize employees, and anywhere from kind of a corporate merit worker who might need to work from home with a standard mobile device. They typically already have that sort of a device, but we've been deploying, laptops. We've got users with rugged mobile devices, really any sort of a connected endpoint. It could be a data card and a router. We're working with some clients that have devices on trains and buses, right? Static data devices. Any of those types of devices are kind of included under the mobile umbrella. So for us, it's a bit of a change for our client as some of these systems are used to be in the office and they're going to home. But those are the types of things that we have historically managed. So not much change there, I guess, for us in terms of UEM type support, if that's what you're asking.
Sure. Great. Thanks a lot. And then Jim, kind of a similar question. What are you looking at trying to do over the next year or so, especially in light of the sudden changes that we've seen over the past few months?
Yeah, another great question. And I would say, along the lines of the work from home, where we're making sure we're supporting our customers, and where we're investing is our overall cloud solution. And a magic number that I recently saw is 40%. There's been a 40% increase of customers going to cloud. And not only that, because of this COVID, 40% of customers will be 100% on cloud. So think about that for a minute. Like, of all the companies in the world, that 40% due to COVID are going to be on cloud. So where we're putting a lot of our investments is making sure that as cloud invoices come in, we're able to process them quickly. Not only process them quickly, but then allocate those costs, and not only allocate those costs from a cost center standpoint, but understand when you're spinning up a new instance, how does that affect your project costs? How does that affect your department costs? And then taking those different classifications or dimensions and showing to the company that this cloud project is costing X amount of money, and how that's bringing return to the company. And then on top of that, we're looking at Kubernetes and taking that usage information and adding another level of value for customers, that we can look at a cloud instance and say, okay, who has been using a certain percentage of that, and then applying that to allocation. So bringing that entire value stream and knowing exactly how much is being used for a certain project, for a certain customer, and then delivering that entire value set to customers and showing them that visibility and bringing value to the entire organization. So I would say, that's a large point of emphasis for us. The second point is the generating revenue through bill pay. And then the third, I'm sure I sound like a broken record, and that's delivering on this time to value and taking our normal, where we are right now, it is a 90-day delivery as far as a new customer. So what we're targeting is getting down to 30 days. And how we're going to do that is take all the information we already have, build that into a total out-of-the-box experience, and take all those processes that we've been gaining and learning about and put that into our solution so customers can take the 30 days, be able to show value to their company and show the dollar amount that they need to show to the people that are asking them to help the company.
Great. And Philippe, so Jennifer's already brought up a lot of aspects of mobility. Jim's brought up the cloud and time to value and cash. What else is there? What are you guys working on?
That's very good. So a little bit like everyone, I think we're all focusing on the delivery to everyone, but there's two main items on the roadmap that we're working on. The first one is really from an end user standpoint to help them make it easy for them to do any changes or new orders and things like that, because we've talked about, of course, ServiceNow and ITSM tool and all of that. But again, to manage mobility, not all of them wants to go to this. So what we have done now is that we've already changed our roadmap to make sure that we already have a mobile application. We're enhancing this to make sure that it's really easy based on their catalog of what they can order, so that this way they can order accessories, anything like that, to help them in the day-to-day basis of their work. So we have done that first change already, which is from an end user standpoint. But then after that, from the admin standpoint, we need to make sure that we help them with all the exceptions. So all the exception reporting trends, like I mentioned earlier. So we've put a lot more effort into this area. Now, what Jim was mentioning a little bit about cloud management, the nice thing about Upland is that with our ITFM solution, we already do cloud cost management. We already have integration with AWS and most of the companies, so that this way we know on a daily basis what's the consumption, and from there they can make already some decision on which environment to shut down, reopen, and things like that. So we're already working in that area with most of our customers, so that's going to help them a lot. There's a last portion is really, and same thing as Jim, I think I'm a broken record, but it's really to be an extension with our managed service team to now really understand the business, which we do, and then propose areas of improvement that they can do, not necessarily for us to do, but for them to select from a list of improvement that they can do. And then after that, put them into play and see the result from there and manage the result. This is what now they're looking into. So this is pretty much what we're doing over the next 6 to 12 months to make sure that we enhance our customer satisfaction at that point.
So the last question I had, and I'll start with Ginger here, is just asking for all the IT, finance, and purchasing professionals here in the room, trying to figure out, how do I show value right now, and how do I provide more guidance to my company? What advice would you provide given what you're seeing from your customers right now?
I really advise that they kind of look more than ever at just finding the right partner. We like to be a good partner of our customers and an extension of them, and that's the way they look at us, and that's the way we look at them. So really showing that we can help them with a positive business impact, including with reduction of cost, as well as increasing their operational efficiency and FTE savings. It's crucial to lean into trusted suppliers that are like Vision and creating that partnership to help them enhance the user experience for their end users during this time, as well as ongoing, always, and allowing their employees to be more dependent. Now more than ever, employees are dependent on their mobile devices, and you need a good partner to help you with that. Finally, I suggest, a lot of times in procurement, you have RFIs and RFPs, and they take a long time to go through in that whole process. So maybe foregoing those lengthy processes more in favor of doing a very rigorous TEM evaluation to realize those cost savings more immediately, and helping them through that approach, and helping them stop that RFP cycles that can be like 6 to 12 months sometimes, which can be substantial. Whereas, going through a rigorous evaluation can help them eliminate that and get somebody like a Vision or another type of vendor in there sooner, faster. And then, of course, we do, like Jim mentioned, we do 30, 60-day rapid implementations for our customers. So.
Jennifer, you see that, a couple thoughts.
Yeah, no, I was just going to add, I like what Ginger said there about that was more targeted at procurement professionals. I know it's difficult to consider kind of foregoing those, really structured bid processes, but there is, quite an opportunity cost, right? In delayed savings, some of those big opportunities can take, that's a 6 to 12 month cycle, like Ginger said. And we're not suggesting, forego a rigorous evaluation, right? But any of the suppliers on this call, Jim and Philippe, I think, can attest to the fact that different times offer a different approach. So just as an example, I mentioned previously how Vision's business cycle has picked up. We onboarded 4 enterprise clients in May who opted to do this. They had an RFP cycle planned and it was going to run the rest of this year. They kind of decided, they did it in slightly different ways, but they came up with a fast track process. They still evaluated Vision and a couple of our strong competitors. And we're currently in the process of implementing. A couple of those are up and running and a couple are still in process. But those clients will be able to realize savings much more quickly. So again, I know that piece of it is projected more for the purchasing professionals, but I thought that was an interesting approach, just considering, hey, the opportunity cost of doing the business the way, clients have traditionally done business. We all need to think differently.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting that for procurement to consider this fast track process for immediate needs and having to go beyond the traditional RFP process. I like that a lot, especially in these times, having an alternative.
Sure.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And then Philippe, same question. What are you advising your stakeholders on the corporate side, the organizational side? How do they gain value?
I think Ginger mentioned it about, get a trusted advisor. This is really important to do that. Of course, if you can have one vendor that gives you a complete 360-degree view of all your organization's asset, this is really awesome, right? So like us, if you can dig into your IT financial management, into your cloud management and telecom expense management, from there you can see really the areas of opportunities and bring hard dollar savings to the organization. Now, we think there's 5 main factors that they need to look at. Those 5 factors are pretty much, establish a good baseline, get in touch with your vendors and obtain a snapshot of where you are so that this way you can compare. Fix, inform contract objectives so that this way you see what's out there on the market, you compare with other organizations, and this way you can really put information into the contract that will help you. Of course, review your situation, right? Like we said, don't do it once every 6 months, right? Do it every week if possible, every 2 weeks, and that's going to help a lot. Review where you are and when you stand and be agile, like you said, and move into that area. And I would say probably the last one is look at broaden your scope. Don't just focus into one area so that this way it's a big journey. And this way, if you're looking only at just wireless and you're not looking at wireline, you're not looking at, this is where you're gonna maybe miss a couple of items. And this is where we see a lot of tractions. And maturity is also something that we didn't talk, but all of our customers are at different maturity level. So, and at this point, if you have that trusted advisor that can help you focus based on your maturity on which item you should look at, and from there work with recommendation, and from there, up your knowledge and their knowledge of the IT, finance, and telecom. That's really what that is.
Great. And then finally, Jim, how would you talk about how your customers can show value and express the value of what they're providing and what they're doing over the next few months.
Sure. The first thing I would say is, I come from, previous to my current role, a mobility background and a, MDM, EMM, background. I've been part of solutions such as Coke Freestyle and working on the team to support Amazon Go. And what I've seen in the financial space is a incredible amount of ingenuity, an incredible amount of complexity. So don't discount the great service that you're providing to your company. It's a lot to be proud of. And then on top of that, I would say 3 recommendations: measure, 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 because you can only show value when you actually have numbers and metrics behind that. And the great part about MobiCord, I would say, like, we're bringing all of this together on the platform so we can show the value of cost saving that everyone's been talking about. We can show the value of the services and the quality of services, because we're bringing all these service providers together, on a single platform. And then not only that, you can then show the power of all your service providers, your entire service tree, and show that to your customers, which are the entire IT community, your entire business. So, I would say that measure, measure, measure. And then on top of that, what the people are asking from you is bring to them opportunities for the company. And I would recommend right now, only recommend those opportunities that you can deliver to the business in 30 to 60 days, because long term it is great, but tomorrow, who knows? Maybe the rules change and we're on lockdown again. So you have to recommend opportunities that you can deliver to your stakeholders, so quickly.
Thank you so much, and thank you to our panel for showing how this market is different. Each one of our sponsors has a different perspective based on their view and what they do, and you've seen that. And I hope you've gotten a lot of good advice on what to do next. So thank you to Ginger, thank you to Jennifer, thank you to Philippe, thank you to Jim for all of your great advice today. And thanks a lot for showing up to this panel.
Great, thank you.
Thank you,
very much.
John. We appreciate it.
Thank you for attending our panel today. Our speakers will be in the chat room until the end of the session time, so please feel free to follow up with them on any questions you may have. Please join us for the rest of our sessions. Visit our sponsors, MobiCord, Upland Software, Vision Wireless, and WidePoint, and hang out with us in the networking lounge.